Hello, we are back with another one of our EvolveU graduates, Ms. Hillary Walter. And I'm so excited for you to share your story and your journey of the past 6 months. But before we're going to dive into that, I would love for you to just introduce yourself and share a little bit about where your weight loss journey started long before you came into FitMom.
Okay, I am Hillary. My weight loss journey probably started about 8 years ago when I was like 22. And I have tried probably every diet out there. I grew up seeing a lot of yo-yo dieting from my mom, and that definitely reflected on myself. I have tried, Herbalife, whatever, Nutrisystem. I mean, just like cut carbs completely out. Starved myself many times. I did a weight loss clinic that's locally, and I mean, I think it's nationwide, but never really found something that I could stick with, and would always gain weight back and sometimes even more, which was extremely frustrating. Even tried to really incorporate exercise. I grew up playing a lot of sports and whatnot, and obviously going to college and stuff that kind of dwindles out and down, away where you're not exercising as much. So some weight gains expected, but I really got to a point where I was very uncomfortable with my body and couldn't really find anything that I could stick to be happier, I guess, with my body.
Yeah. So how did that translate just into your emotional state? So just how you felt about yourself, confidence, even other things, like energy or digestion. What were some of those main struggles?
Confidence was definitely low. Reverted to, drinking. I was just at that age of where that was having fun, but then you also felt better, I guess, about yourself, which is kind of sad, but true. And I'm not the only one I know that does that or had done that. And it wasn't helping, obviously, my situation, but just a real internal struggle of not feeling good enough and confident in the things I was doing or who I was becoming, weight wise, appearance wise, all that.
Yeah. So how did that make you feel? Just with looking at, I've done all of these other things and they haven't worked. And you kind of felt, I know when we first talked, just stuck and frustrated and kind of lost, but, dealing with some of those internal struggles, how did that make you feel about wanting to change, that desire to change?
I was ready to try anything. I had already tried so many things. So I just felt like a failure, all in all, which was really hard. And it's the diet industry is in my opinion, such a scam because they just promote, all these different diets and how, you can lose weight in 30 days or money back guarantee, things like that. But it's at the end of the day, not teaching you anything except to stick to their plan, which is totally unrealistic.
Yeah. Long-term, right? Sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about where you were when you first started. I remember a few things just distinctly from our first conversation and then our kickoff call, but how were you feeling physically? What were some of your symptoms that you were experiencing, be it energy, digestion, mood?
Definitely had some mood swings and, at work, and obviously now I've learned sugar crash and stuff like that, so it's hard to think back even because I've come such a long way, but just ready to excited to try something new. I had listened to your guys' podcast, and just interested with you guys with learning more about my gut health, not going to the bathroom, constipated some days, or, kind of the opposite of having diarrhea some days. And just overall not well, not feeling my best. I was doing like HIIT workout training 5-6 days a week for about 3 years and not progressing, which was extremely frustrating. And it was like, is this just where I'm going to be stuck forever? Like, this is it. This is where, I'm going to be this size or, be this uncomfortable forever. So extremely frustrating.
Yeah. And you were under eating. You were
Yeah.
eating very little. So I'd love for you to kind of chat through how you felt coming in. And we're saying, we got to eat more, Hillary. We got to start to nourish your body. I mean, I know there's so many mixed emotions. I can only speak for how I felt when I was going through my reverse diet journey. It was scary because how could I eat more and actually lose weight? Right? This doesn't mathematically make sense. So what were the emotions around that? Were you excited? Were you nervous? Were you scared? Were you like, this isn't going to work?
Definitely was terrified. When I had been eating 1,200 calories, not losing weight, and Becca and Liz are like, you're going to try to eat 1,500, 1,550 or something, like just to start out. It was crazy. It was so hard for me to let go and eat that much, and then bumping it up, more and more. And it was terrifying. Yes, I was terrified that I was just going to pack on pounds and be way worse off. Luckily, obviously that didn't happen. So that's amazing. But super scared to eat that much. Like it just made me feel uncomfortable and like, yeah, not well.
Yeah. But you trusted the process.
Yes, right? Correct.
We started to feel better. Digestion started to turn around. Energy improved, not having those late afternoon crashes, and then exploring new ways of incorporating new foods. I know that was something we talked a lot about. Is like, let's not eat the same 10, 12 foods every week. We want you to have fun in this process and enjoy, so we don't feel like we need to then go out and enjoy all the things that we've deprived ourselves from on the weekend. So what are some of the biggest takeaways that you learned throughout the process in Evolve?
Biggest takeaways would be like definitely trying new things. Becca and Liz had got me to try CrossFit, which has been like life-changing for me. It's just such a great community, and I didn't have that at my gym before. It's also hard as hell. And I feel that a lot of days, but that's exactly what I needed for my like physical fitness, I guess, life. And then as far as nutrition wise, definitely trying new things and different foods that are taste amazing, and you don't feel like you're trying to restrict. Whereas, before I was restricting and like starving myself literally. And now like when I'm in a cut, it's like, okay, I'm, not having bites, licks, and tastes. Like I'm not going to have that cookie at work, but that's okay. It's more of just a mindset, which anyone who's dieted has gotten into that mindset, but it's much more attainable in that sense as well. So trusting the process was hard for me, and learning like tracking, not just to track. So Becca and Liz can see my food intake and tracking and trying to make adjustments of like the protein, carbs, and fats, what I'm, today I didn't hit it, or tracking like a day ahead. They probably told me that from day one, and I, didn't for months. So that's on me. But definitely, yeah, trying new foods and trying just new things. Like I said, CrossFit for sure.
Yeah. I think it's been amazing to see your physical composition change too, just with changing the stimulus of how you are pushing your body and challenging your body in new ways. And obviously we know that translates over to our mental health too. We talk a lot about we can do hard things, and whether that is stick to and adhere to our intake goals, or trust the process and reverse diet and eat more, or in the gym and just showing up for ourselves every day. So proud of you for all of those, things. And I would love to know, as you move forward on your own, how is your view shifted or changed in terms of how you look at nutrition and eating, not even diet or cut, right? But just how you approach your nutritional intake. Like, how has that changed from previous things that you did in the
Um, so I'm not like afraid to eat, fries if I want fries, or like, I guess I don't feel as though like food controls me as much as it used to. I know that I can eat things, certain foods that I want and that I crave, and not blow a diet or whatnot, or, I can eat balanced throughout the day and fit in the things that I may want to fit in, I guess. Like, not,
yeah.
um,
I get it. Plan those little treats. Like, I have
yeah,
Catalina Crunch. It's like, I want that every day, even in a cut. So I plan it in. And so I don't feel
right,
cut.
right. Yeah.
Cool. So what would you say that some of your greatest achievements have been throughout this process?
I did the CrossFit Open this year, which I just started doing CrossFit like 4 months ago. So that was a great challenge and fun, hard. Yeah. But definitely learning how to eat, I guess. And even on days where I might not track, I still know what a balanced meal of carbs, fats, and protein look like. I know how important it is to hit some of those goals and whatnot, and just not hit because of hitting them, but to know how my body's going to respond and how I'm going to feel the next day or whatnot, and even later that day as well.
Yeah, that's huge in terms of, sustainability. I'd love for you to talk a little bit about how your social life and how you approach your social life has maybe shifted a bit, because I think where you're at now and the level of moderation that you have been able to achieve is amazing. Doesn't mean that we won't have events where we overconsume or indulge a little bit more than others. But again, looking back, it's hard sometimes, I think, too, to remember these things. So 6 months is a long time ago, but
Yeah.
where you were then and how you approached the weekends compared to where you are now.
Yeah. I was a very social butterfly, drinking and hanging out with friends and, living my life. I'm 30. So I feel like what I do, I don't have kids, so that was having fun with friends and family, a big part of my life socially. So it's not that I don't attend those things. That was probably the hardest adjustment, honestly, looking back now, as you bring it up. Yeah, 6 months is a long time. I forget those things. So now I'm not like afraid to go to an event and say like, no, like I'm not drinking today. It was hard at first getting all the questions of like, oh, are you pregnant, or what's going on, and it's like, no, I'm just, doesn't make me feel like greatest, or sometimes not even giving an excuse, because it's like, it's not your business, it's mine. Like, I'm doing it for myself, I'm not doing it for anyone else. So going in it with that mindset, and at times, yes, still enjoying if I want to have a couple drinks, but I was never a person that tracked drinks. I just was there to have fun, and now I feel confident, and I know how bad I'll feel the next day if I do overindulge, and it's really not worth it. My productivity in my life is not great when I do that. Although it can be fun time, from time to time. But yeah, definitely feel confident going to a social event and having one drink or two if I want to, and also having none if that's what I choose to feel my best.
Yeah, I love that. And you said it yourself, I'm doing this for me, nobody else. And oftentimes we get that peer pressure and sometimes we cave to it. But I think the foundation that you've built and just being, stepping into who you're meant to be and being bold and standing firm in your beliefs and just doing the things that you choose to do is very important, because that's going to carry you far, as you move forward on your own. So what would you say that, were a couple of like your favorite things about working with Becca and I?
Favorite things. You guys are just so encouraging and knowledgeable. I mean, it's been amazing the amount of knowledge that I've been able to take away and learn about myself and my body. Like, just looking into gut health and diet culture and pushing yourself. And honestly, it's been amazing because I would have had to take, umpteen nutrition classes and experiment with my body, but you guys were there because you have the knowledge and tools to be able to like help me through that and learn so much more, so much faster. I feel like I had known for a long time that certain diets and stuff was never going to work for my body. Mainly because I've tried most of them also, but I knew that real food and eating like balanced was going to be the way. I just didn't know how to put the tools together. And you guys were those tools that helped me understand it all.
Yeah. It's hard. It's scary. I think we all kind of inherently know that, like, okay, we should eat mostly clean foods and good foods, especially we learn those in other diet protocols, but then putting it into action and understanding, like, what do I actually need? And listening to our biofeedback too, and how we feel, just like we talked about before we started this, like bumping you up again and giving your body more nourishment because you're in a place now where you've, continued to lose, but you want to fuel your performance and recovery. And so having those tools, I have no doubt that you are going to do amazing on your own. So if you were to recommend coaching to your best friend, for example, what would you say to him or her?
I would say, okay. Coaching to my best friend, I would say, be like open and honest. Just like it's amazing how much you can learn from Becca and Liz, and with food. And if not, most people are restricting and you're restricting, and you can eat more and feel better while going through this process and still lose weight and get to where you want to be at the end of the day. Like, yeah.
It's so different, I think, now to think about like the opposite of that restrictive mindset, right? It's like, I don't have to do that and I can feel good and I can still reach my goals. It's freeing. So what advice would you give to new clients or, members coming into the program? Because I know it's scary for everyone when they first start, working with a coach, all of the unknowns, maybe all the feelings of what's going to happen and all of those things. So what would be a piece of advice you would share with them?
Open your mind to learning about yourself and, exercise, diet, that just life. Be open to changing like your lifestyle. Don't just go through motions of like, they're telling me to eat this because that's the best thing, is you're going to figure it out like on your own. And ask more questions, which is something I struggle with a lot. I hate asking for help. So that is my biggest flaw for sure. And just trust the process, be as consistent as possible. You will get there and you will see the strides for sure. Take pictures, take measurements, all the good stuff.
Yeah, because often the scale is not the full picture, right? It's just one measure of data. And we've seen that for you tremendously. So I'm excited for you to go off on your own. Obviously, we'll miss having you on calls, but we're here anytime you need to reach out, ask a quick question. We love seeing updates. And I think you're going to do amazing. And hopefully you take this, knowledge and education and the tools that you've learned and continue to crush it with CrossFit, your physical goals, your mental, approach in life in general. So